Imagine a plane going from LA to New York City. The plane is ready to take off, but the pilot accidentally moves the direction of the plane a small 3.5 degrees south. This change might seem insignificant at first, but instead of landing in New York City, the plane ends up in Washington, D.C., hundreds of miles away from the original destination. Just like a plane changing a few degrees, small habits in our life can lead to massive changes over the long term. We often convince ourselves that massive success requires a high level of change, and we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to change our current life. But what if we think of habits as the compounded interest of self-improvement? If you only get 1% better at something every day, in a year, you will be 37 times better than how you started. Success is a product of small daily habits and not of once-in-a-lifetime transformations. So let's have a sigh of relief and learn the top ideas from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, which teaches us how to achieve massive results by making small changes. Idea number 1. Habits are not linear. Did you know that a bamboo tree spends about 5 years of its life quite small, almost unnoticeable, while it creates a strong root system underground? Once this root system is finished, the bamboo tree can grow up to 90 feet in just 6 weeks. Just like the bamboo tree, most habits tend to feel ineffective at the beginning. It isn't until we build our foundation where we create massive levels of performance. In the world, this is what people call an overnight success. It takes years of practice for an artist or an entrepreneur to build their skills and promote their craft without actually achieving what most people would call success until seemingly overnight they get the fame, glory, and fortune everyone sees. You see, in the early stages of any journey, you will often find what in the book James refers to as the valley of disappointment. This is where we feel like we are not making the progress we originally expected. And this is because most of us were conditioned to expect linear progress. If we go to a job, we work for 1 hour and we get paid for 1 hour. If we go to school, we do our homework and we get a grade for it. We expect to get immediate results based on the actions we take. So small actions might feel insignificant and ineffective in our daily life. I mean, saving a little money now won't make us millionaires, or going to the gym 3 days in a row won't make us fit. But habits are not linear. Many people won't see a big change in their body until they have gone to the gym consistently for a few months. Or investors won't see a big growth in their portfolio until a few years of compounding start taking effect. So when building habits, understand that habits are not linear. They're exponential. And patience and consistency are the key. Idea number 2. The 3 layers of change. You see, habits, once they are formed, become easy to do, even the bad ones. Habits like procrastinating, watching too much TV, or spending too much time on social media can almost feel impossible to break. We might be able to break them for a few days, but we often go back to that easy-to-do habit. One of the main reasons for that, as James explains in the book, is that we try to change the wrong thing. You see, there are 3 ways that we can approach a change in behavior. When we think of a habit, most people begin at the very surface level. At this level, we focus on achieving a certain outcome, whether that is to build a business, lose weight, write a book, or stop smoking. This can work for a short period of time, but at this level, it can be difficult to build a strong long-term habit. A deeper level of change is when we begin focusing on the rituals that we do on a daily basis. Some people believe that focusing on your process is much more important to building great habits than the goals themselves. Like James explains in the book, winners and losers have the same goals, but winners have a better system to get there. So have your goals, but spend more time focusing on your process. Although focusing on your process is extremely important, there's a deeper level of change. This level focuses on aligning our identity with the habits that we want to develop and the outcomes we want to achieve. In this level, we develop identity-based habits. Unlike the outcome level, where we focus on what we want, in this level, we focus on who we want to become. For example, there's a big difference between someone saying, "I want to quit smoking," versus "I am not a smoker." One tells you the outcome they want, the other tells you who they are. Now, this takes time to achieve. In order to update our identity, we must first decide on who we want to be, and then create evidence to support it. The more often we repeat an action that supports our new identity, the more we become convinced that this is who we are. So to make this easier, let's go over how a habit is formed and how we can manipulate a habit so we can break bad habits and create good ones. Idea number 3, the habit loop. The process of building a habit is divided into 4 simple steps: cue, craving, response, and reward. The cue begins the habit. A cue triggers your brain to initiate a behavior. This cue leads to a craving, which generates a response that ultimately provides us with a reward, which reinforces the cue. For example, a cue can be as simple as checking the time on our phones, which can lead to a craving to see what's new on Instagram. This creates an almost automatic response where, without a thought, we tap on the app and within a few seconds, we get rewarded with a brand new feed full of entertainment different than it was 20 minutes ago. This reward becomes associated with the cue, which creates a stronger craving the next time we open up our phones, making this a continuous feedback loop that makes it feel almost impossible to stop. But once we understand how habits are formed, we can manipulate them and make them work in our favor. Idea number 4, the 4 steps to better habits. Now that we understand the components of a habit, let's use them to break bad habits and create good ones. Let's go step by step, starting with the cue. Again, the cue is what triggers the habit. So in order to break a bad habit, we must make the cue invisible. In the case of our social media habit, this could be getting a watch to avoid using our phones to check the time, or turning off notifications. By making the cue invisible, we avoid triggering the habit in the first place. Now, sometimes we might still crave the reward that this habit provides, so we must make the craving feel unattractive. In order to do this, we can make a change in our response. Making this habit hard or frustrating to execute will make it unappealing to actually do it. This can be scrambling our apps around often, where it becomes hard to actually find the app that we're used to using, or just eliminating the app from our phone altogether. This will make it hard or impossible for our habit to be completed. Making the reward unsatisfying can help reduce our craving and even make the craving unattractive next time the cue is triggered. So, to break bad habits, we must make the cue invisible, the craving unattractive, the response difficult, and the reward unsatisfying. Once we understand this, it becomes clear what we need to do in order to create good habits. To eliminate a bad habit, we make the cue invisible. But if we want to build a good habit, we make the cue obvious. Let's say you want to start going to the gym. So we find an obvious trigger to attach this habit to, something that we can't miss. What about waking up? You scheduled your gym time in the morning right after you wake up, which is a trigger you can't miss. So now let's focus on making the craving attractive. Instead of doing something boring at the gym, you decide to do something that you actually enjoy. So let's say that you like playing basketball, so you get together with a few other people and play some basketball. If we want to break a bad habit, we make a response difficult to do. But here, we want to focus on making it easy to do. Having your gym bag ready to go, your morning snack prepared, and your water bottle filled makes it easy for you to just get up and go. The easier it is to take action, the easier it will be to build a habit. By doing something that you actually enjoy, like playing basketball, will make the reward much more satisfying, which will build a habit that will help you achieve your goals. In the comments below, let me know your thoughts on this book. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and check out our digital library of financial book summaries here on YouTube. It's all free. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.